I start the slideshow from the beginning, and if I use this, this thing
This
is.
we need to connect to this.
हाँ we connect.
Yeah.
इसको कैसे करना? Now should I do it? हाँ, go ahead. Set it up.
ये बस मैम
हो गया?
ट्राई कीजिएगा.
हाँ.
हेलो, गुड मॉर्निंग. हेलो, गुड मॉर्निंग लेडीज एंड जेंटलमैन. हेलो, हेलो, गुड दिस इज मंत्रमा द्यासा हैन.
Good morning. That's fine. So where can I just put it somewhere? नहीं अभी तो यहाँ पे रख देते हैं. When he starts, then he will.
भेजता है. यहाँ पे कोई आएगा तो नहीं. नहीं, यहाँ पे कोई नहीं.
तो हटा देते हैं. हाँ हाँ.
Namaste and very good morning to all of you. We are very shortly commencing the event. The Foreign Secretary will arrive in a few minutes, so please have a patience and make her feel comfortable inside the hall. Thank you. I would like to kindly request all the distinguished participants to take your respective seat. So we are going to start the program shortly. Thank you very much.
Good morning and namaste. First of all, I would like to welcome His Excellency Foreign Secretary of India, Vardhan Shringla, at AIDIA, the Asian Institute of Diplomacy and International Affairs. Before moving to the official event, let me request Dr. Madan Kumar Bhattarai, former Foreign Secretary of Nepal, to welcome His Excellency Foreign Secretary of India. Namaste and good morning. His Excellency Vardhan Shringla, Foreign Secretary of India, members of Parliament, Nepal, His Excellency Ambassador Vinay Mohan Quatra, Ambassador Embassy of India in Kathmandu, Nepal, senior diplomats, political leaders, former ministers, distinguished members from business community, civil society, media, and other dignitaries. We are delighted to host the distinguished lecture by His Excellency Sri Vardhan Shringla, Foreign Secretary of India. So on the behalf of the Asian Institute of Diplomacy and International Affairs, I would like to express our sincere gratitude to Excellency Shringla for accepting our kind invitation and extend a very warm welcome for your gracious presence here today. We would also like to warmly welcome to former Foreign Secretary of Nepal, Dr. Madan Kumar Bhattarai, His Excellency Ambassador of India to Nepal, Sri Vinay Mohan Quatraji, along with very distinguished participants from think tanks, policy circles, Chamber of Commerce, government agencies, Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Nepal, academia, here with us today. I would like to inform you that this distinguished lecture is a part of AIDIA's aim to promote the track 1.5 diplomacy. AIDIA has been continuously creating a debate forum for policymakers, shapers, and practitioners to have meaningful discussions on the many common areas between Nepal and India. For instance, in 2018, AIDIA, in collaboration with Nehru Memorial Museum and Library, Government of India, hosted the first ever Nepal-India Think Tank Summit, where more than 35 renowned speakers from Nepal and India addressed the summit. Similarly, very recently, we hosted virtual events in collaboration with Manohar Parrikar Institute for Defense Studies and Analysis, Government of India, and Vivekananda International Foundation, New Delhi, on various aspects of Nepal-India relations. And we think these continuous series of engagements, exchange of ideas, has some way contributed to promoting the Nepal-India bilateral ties. Undoubtedly, I believe that today's lecture by the Foreign Secretary of India will be of highly imperative to better understanding the key issues, emerging trends, and changing dynamics of the multifaceted Nepal-India relations. And to shape the right public discourse that can ultimately contribute to deepening the bilateral ties between the two countries in days to come. We know that cultural and historical interlinkages, economic interdependence, cross-border migration, mutual security concerns, and connectivity are some of the primary features of our bilateral ties, and where we need to work closely for achieving our shared interest for the shared prosperity between Nepal and India. The geographical proximity between our countries has contributed in many commonalities we share. But at the same time, we have been also dealing with some complex issues. I think such kind of regular dialogues and the open exchange of opinions is a key to resolve such sensitive issues amicably. We are expecting that today's distinguished lecture by the Secretary Shringla will offer some fresh perspectives to shape many issues related to Nepal-India discourse on right track and to advance our bilateral cooperation. Now, without further ado, I would like to thank former Foreign Secretary of Nepal, Dr. Madan Kumar Bhattarai, for being with us today. And I kindly request him to have the opening remarks. Thank you.
Namaskar, good morning. CEO of AIDIA, Mr. Sunil Kesiji, Your Excellency, the Foreign Secretary of India, Your Excellency, the Ambassador of India, dignitaries and friends, dear journalists, ladies and gentlemen, good morning and namaskar. Let me first of all extend sincere thanks to the Asian Institute of Diplomacy and International Affairs, AIDIA, and His Excellency Ambassador Binay Mohan Quatra for kindly inviting me to attend the AIDIA Distinguished Lecture being delivered by His Excellency Mr. Vardhan Shringla, Foreign Secretary of India, who is now in Nepal on an official visit. I am privileged to have the unique opportunity of formally introducing our close friend, Foreign Secretary Shringla, who actually doesn't need any introduction here. With a background of working in private and public sectors, prior to his formal enrollment in the Indian Foreign Service IFS in 1984, he is a well-known figure in Nepal, both for his family linkage and for his efficient discharge of responsibility as Director of Northern Division more than 2 decades ago. As an interested outsider, spending nearly 3/4 of almost 4-decade-long diplomatic career being posted in or looking after the region, I found the study of Indian Foreign Service a fascinating exercise as it evolved from the nucleus of the Indian political service that one stalwart once criticized as neither Indian nor political nor service. As an established expert on neighborhood, Mr. Shringla is one of the most visible foreign secretaries as exemplified by his active status in terms of social sites, lectures, and regular contributions of articles. Let me remind the august audience that he has recently authored a lead article entitled, quote, "India is a constructive, dependable actor globally," unquote, eloquently indicating how his country has handled the COVID-19 crisis fairly well in the context of the global pandemic. During his 36 years of epoch-making service in the IFS, he has served in different capacities at headquarters, heading different divisions, and Indian missions abroad, including major political divisions in the Ministry of External Affairs and ambassadorships to 3 important countries, Thailand, Bangladesh, and the United States, with the distinction of being India's youngest top diplomatic representative to Washington, D.C. His reputation as a successful diplomat rightly culminated in his ultimate appointment as the numero uno of IFS 10 months ago. It was a matter of coincidence, as he rightly said on assumption of his duty, that he joined the IFS during the period of Cold War and has now been destined to preside over one of the most efficient foreign services of the world when global warming has become a major issue of far-reaching regional and international repercussions. Mr. Shringla is a product of 2 elite institutions, Mayo College and St. Stephen's College. As a Stephanian, his appointment as 33rd Foreign Secretary marked a hat-trick, as 2 of his predecessors had the same academic orientation. An avid reader and sports fan, he has taken keen interest in adventure tourism, including his participation in the trek to Sagarmatha Base Camp and Kailash Mansarovar Yatra. In terms of family, he is married to Madam A.M A.M Shringla, and they are blessed with a son. Before I request the distinguished Foreign Secretary to kindly deliver his much anticipated lecture, I feel extremely honored to note that Mr. Shringla is the 29th Indian Foreign Secretary that I have had the honor to interact with and be enlightened since my first visit to India in March 1974 as an ICCR Fellow, when I was still a student. The Indian Foreign Secretaries I met represent a big and wide range of diplomats. Some of these luminaries include the first incumbent, KPS Menon Senior, who was the topper of the ICC examinations of 1921. Subimal Dutt and Sasank had the longest and shortest tenures respectively. Mani Dixit happened to be one of my delete examiners and also served as National Security Advisor, NSA. 2 distinguished professionals were special recruits to the IFS, R.D. Sathe and Jagat Mehta. And the Stephanian Shivsankar Menon also became NSA after retirement. Last but not least, Maharaj Krishna Rasgotra, who was posted in Nepal twice, is currently the longest surviving Foreign Secretary. To conclude, the audience are aware of plethora of writings and opinions on current state of our bilateral relations when 2 strong prime ministers enjoying overwhelming majority are in power in both countries. We don't have dearth of analysts, experts, pessimists, and even cynics, including so-called practitioners like us on both sides. As optimist to the core, my observation, if I may make, is simple, straight, and clear. The only alternative to the present state of Nepal-India relations is a more robust, mutually advantageous, and more transparent ties of friendship and cooperation that truly cater to the reality of the rising aspirations of the people and take into account the enhancement of the quality of life through optimum utilization of our resources with a view to taking our ties to a state of mutual interdependence. With these words, I wish to welcome His Excellency Foreign Secretary Vardhan Shringla to Nepal. I am sure his visit will be a success in further consolidating mutually beneficial ties of friendship and cooperation that have marked our relations since times immemorial. Last but not least, I wish the distinguished Foreign Secretary a fruitful tenure. प्रतिष्ठित भारतीय वैदेशिक सेवाको 1984 को ब्याचमा प्रवेश गरी थाइल्यान्ड, बङ्गलादेश र संयुक्त राज्य अमेरिकाका लागि राजदूत लगायत विभिन्न जिम्मेवारीमा कुशल कार्य सम्पादन र छिमेक मामिलाका विज्ञको पहिचान बनाउनु हुने भारतीय विदेश सचिव महामहिम हर्षवर्धन श्रृङ्गलाज्यूलाई आइडिया विशिष्ट प्रवचनमालामा आफ्नो गहन सम्बोधनको लागि स्वागत गर्न पाउँदा हामीलाई खुसी लागेको छ। विदेश सचिवको पद सम्हालेपछि उहाँको यो पहिलो नेपाल भ्रमण हो। नेपालसँग राम्रै परिचित कूटनीतिज्ञको रूपमा उहाँको भ्रमणले युगौँदेखि निकट नेपाल भारत सम्बन्धलाई जनाकांक्षा अनुरूप आपसी हितका आधारमा प्रवर्धन र सुदृढीकरण गर्न अझ सफल होस् भनेर उहाँको अहम भूमिका यसमा रहनेछ भन्ने हाम्रो विश्वास छ। विदेश सचिव श्रृङ्गलाको भ्रमणको पूर्ण सफलताको कामना गर्दै उहाँको विदेश सचिवको कार्यकाल उपलब्धिपूर्ण बढोस् भन्ने हाम्रो शुभेच्छा छ। Thank you very much for your kind patience. Dhanyavad.
Thank you, Dr. Vatrai, for your wonderful remarks and the introduction to our His Excellency Shringla. Now, without any delay, I would like to request His Excellency Foreign Secretary of India for the AIDIA Distinguished Lecture. Thank you.
This thing is there. Is it? It's working, huh? His Excellency Ambassador Dr. Vardhan Bhattarai, His Excellency Ambassador of India, Shri Vinay Quatra, and my colleagues in the Indian Embassy, founder of the AIDIA, Shri Sunil Kesi, former ambassadors of Nepal to India, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Namaste and good morning. तपाईहरु सबैको साथसाथै भर्चुअली जोडिनु भएका नेपाली मित्रहरूलाई सम्बोधन गर्न पाउनु मेरो लागि सम्मान र सौभाग्यको कुरा हो। म यो अवसरको लागि एशियन इन्स्टिट्युट अफ डिप्लोमेसी एन्ड इन्टरनेशनल अफेयर्स र इन्स्टिट्युटको फाउन्डर श्री सुनील केसीज्यू प्रति आभारी छु। म नेपाल पूर्व विदेश सचिव एम्बेसडर डाक्टर मदन भट्टराईलाई पनि राम्रो शब्दहरू लागि धन्यवाद दिन चाहन्छु। म उहाँलाई लामो समयदेखि चिन्छु र व्यक्तिगत रूपमा उहाँलाई भेट्दा मलाई खुसी लाग्यो। Dr. Bhattarai, you are a diplomat, scholar, academic, intellectual. You combine all these rare qualities. We have great respect and regard for you. मैले तपाईको यो सुन्दर शहरको धेरैचोटि भ्रमण गरिसकेको छु, तर विदेश सचिवको रूपमा यो मेरो पहिलो भ्रमण हो। मलाई पहिला नै आउने मन थियो, तर कोभिड-19 ले गर्दा ढिलाइ भयो। After my opening remarks, I'll now switch to English, and I want to say that I have been to this wonderful city of Kathmandu after a gap of a decade or so. People have asked me, does it feel different this time? The answer is both yes and no. Yes, because as I said, I've never previously visited Nepal visiting a mosque. And no, because the buzz and vibrancy of Kathmandu are undiminished. Rather, they have been enhanced. The transformation of the city is apparent. Economic and social upgrade, a construction push, the energy of youth and enterprise. It is all extremely impressive. And it is apparent even in these restrictive pandemic conditions. The hearts and smiles of friends and interlocutors I have met remain unchanged. These hearts and smiles and such sentiments are unreservedly reciprocated by us in India. The Nepal-India relationship is intricate and exists in various paradigms. We share the same geography, civilizational heritage, culture, and customs. There are affinities in religious and spiritual traditions, even food habits. The people-to-people linkages are so strong and so powerful that, quite frankly, we in government only complement these. As Prime Minister Narendra Modi put it when he visited Nepal 2 years ago, and I quote, India's relations with Nepal are familial and friendly, which stand on the strong foundations of mutual and deep relationships between its people, which are much above the relationship between the two governments, unquote. Recent years have given the relationship a new momentum. For India, Nepal is fundamental to our neighborhood-first approach. India's development and modernization are incomplete and intrinsically and symbiotically linked to the development and modernization of neighboring countries, such as Nepal. That is why leaders from our neighboring countries were invited to Prime Minister Modi's swearing-in ceremony in 2014 and in 2019. We are deeply appreciative of the Nepalese leadership's gesture in traveling to New Delhi for these cherished occasions. They celebrated our mutual commitment to inclusive democracy and governance, dedicated to the welfare of all citizens and all sections of society. Our Prime Minister's visit to Nepal in August 2014 was the first at that level in 17 years. It injected a fresh energy into the relationship and created a steady stream of two-way travel and developmental initiatives. Over the past 6 years, Prime Minister Modi has visited Nepal 4 times, and the Prime Minister of Nepal has been welcomed in India 7 times. At the level of head of state or head of government, our leaders have met 16 times. At the level of foreign minister, our joint commission has convened 3 times, and there have been innumerable other official engagements. Our bilateral calendar has never been busier. Our people, Nepal's people and India's people, are our strength, and our endeavors are meant to assist and enable them. Our aspiration of Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas, Sabka Vishwas, and your goal of Samridh Nepal, Sukhi Nepal are entirely compatible. In my meetings here in Kathmandu, with the President, the Prime Minister of Nepal, the Foreign Minister, and my counterpart, the Foreign Secretary, and other dignitaries and officials, I have been left with no doubt that our countries are on the same page and share the same vision. I must acknowledge here that the welcome that my delegation and I have received has been both moving and memorable. Friends, aside from our common civilizational inheritance, India's relationship with Nepal rests on 4 pillars: development cooperation, stronger connectivity, expanded infrastructure, and economic projects, easier and enhanced access to educational opportunities in India for the young people of Nepal. Underlying all of these is a steadfast principle. We will work to Nepal's priorities. The structures that the pillars hold up is also well-defined and unchanging, mutually beneficial to people contacts, and in all of this, technology, particularly digital technology, to my mind, is a force multiplier. India sees itself as Nepal's foremost friend and development partner. Developmental experiences that we share with you are developmental experiences that have proved successful and beneficial in our own country. Given our similarities in environmental conditions and socio-economic challenges, there is so much that we can learn from each other. Let me illustrate with an example of my own career. As a younger officer, I have vivid memories of an iodized salt program that India supported in the hilly and remote districts of Nepal. It helped address the chronic ailment of goiter and mirrored India's own battle against its pressing health problem. And as someone from the hills myself, I have personally experienced the incidence of goiter in many of our hill districts in India. One programmatic mechanism that we have used to good effect is that of the high-impact community development projects implemented in Nepal with India's support. These projects are tailored to meet the needs of the local community create community assets, and promote socio-economic welfare at the grassroots level. We are mindful in designing sustainable programs that contribute to the community and don't in any manner encumber it. Such development projects have been implemented in all 77 of Nepal's districts, and over 100 of them have been completed since 2014, when our Prime Minister visited Nepal for the first time after he took over. They cover diverse sectors such as education, health, irrigation, drinking water, preservation of culture, skill development, youth training, and agriculture. These are projects that have immediate and positive impact on the lives of people, touching everybody in society. Enhancing cross-border connectivity and infrastructure projects are also critical. They unlock potential of millions and in millions. Connectivity projects come in various forms. Physical connectivity projects such as highways, rail and air links, and inland waterways enhance movement of goods and people. Energy connectivity, whether power transmission lines or petroleum pipelines, contribute to the well-being of each other's citizens and build mutual trust and partnerships. Digital connectivity through optic fibers is our route to the future, particularly as we find in India with remote access to education, healthcare, and other services through the digital medium. Finally, trade facilitation through upgraded border infrastructure makes for easier transit and seamless commerce. Several examples can be provided in each of the categories. I will mention only a few. The Motihari-Amlekganj petroleum pipeline was the first of its kind in the region. It has created capacity to carry 2 million metric tons of petroleum products into Nepal and has already led to savings of over Nepalese rupees 800 million for the country. Brisk implementation of the 900 megawatt Arun 3 hydropower project is underway, and cross-border transmission lines have been upgraded. The Jayanagar-Kurta cross-border rail line should be operational shortly. It will make Janakpur so much easier to visit from India. Tourism from India would be an important area of employment, commerce, and opportunity. We want to promote it to the extent that we can. Modern integrated checkposts at Birganj and Biratnagar have transformed cross-border movement of people and goods, and work on the integrated checkposts at Nepalganj has already commenced. The spectrum of our bilateral cooperation is all-encompassing. It traverses centuries, quite literally. An element of our cooperation that is often missed is the restoration and conservation of cultural heritage of Nepal. Some years ago, at your request, we shared proposals for the conservation of monuments in the revered Pashupatinath temple complex. After the earthquake of 2015, India cooperated with Nepal in the restoration of 30 heritage locations, including the iconic Seto Machendranath temple in Kathmandu, the Hiranyavarna Mahavir at Patan, and the Jangan Mutt at Bhaktapur. Our best domain specialists are at the service of the living history of Nepal. Yet our endeavors are meant to not only preserve and celebrate the past, but also to build and nurture the future. Given the young population both in India and Nepal, education is a crucial bridge. 70 schools and 150 health centers, health facilities are coming up in 12 districts of Nepal with Indian support. I know that our ambassador, Vinay Quatra, and his colleagues have been working ceaselessly to ensure that many of these commitments that have been made at the level of our leadership are implemented in a timely manner. And I think going over, taking stock of the implementation projects, I find that we have done extraordinarily well despite COVID in this context. And few projects are as satisfying as those that promote learning and health for the well-being of our citizens. As a neighbor and friend, India sees itself as Nepal's natural and instinctive responder in times of crisis. The devastating earthquake of 2015 was a test for the government and people of Nepal. The courage and resilience of the citizens of Nepal, the grit and determination in rebuilding lives and livelihoods was an inspiration to us in India and across the world. On our part, we were happy to contribute to this process as first responders and then towards long-term reconstruction. The outlay of Indian earthquake-related assistance is $1 billion, but its true value is not in monetary terms. It lies in how it has helped communities on the ground. To cite an instance, 46,000 houses have been built in Gorkha and Nuwakot. They incorporate earthquake-resistant technologies in line with their motto of Build Back Better, and they epitomize humanity's ability to triumph over adversity. The year 2020 has brought with it an additional challenge in the form of the COVID-19 pandemic. This has been the most globally disruptive event since the Second World War. Its devastating impact on society and the economy is still being tabulated. Recovery, resilience, and rebuilding will require both perseverance and planning. Through this period, Nepal and India have been together. We have suffered together, and we have fought back together. It has not been easy. When the pandemic struck, India found itself short of critical health supplies. We did not manufacture personal protective equipment or ventilators. Only 2 companies in India made the N95 masks, and we were woefully lacking in testing kits. In a short span of time, with the whole of government approach, and I would say a whole of society resolve, led by the Prime Minister, our people rose to the occasion. National capacities were built by the state, by civil society, and the private sector. We created 15,466 dedicated COVID-19 facilities with 1.5 million isolation beds. Today, there are over 100 PPE manufacturers in India making 150,000 PPE kits a day. At last count, there were 48 companies making ventilators. And our Prime Minister mentioned that when we started with the COVID crisis, there were 16,000 ventilators in hospitals all over India. Today, we plan to have 500,000 ventilators. Testing kit production has also gone up considerably, and we are conducting about 1 million tests a day. We are supplying masks, PPEs, diagnostic test kits, and ventilators to other countries. Our pharmaceutical companies ramped up production of drugs, especially hydroxychloroquine and paracetamol. We shipped these to 150 countries, even in lockdown conditions. Whatever we had and whatever we could, we shared with our friends, including here in Nepal. We were only too glad to extend assistance to Nepal in dealing with the COVID-19 outbreak, be it in equipment and supplies or ensuring uninterrupted flow of goods across the border. We also assisted in repatriating Nepalese citizens from various countries where they were stranded, along with our own citizens. Yesterday, I had the privilege of handing over 2,000 vials of remdesivir injections to the Honorable Foreign Minister. I would like to emphasize our continued and uninterrupted commitment to Nepal. We are on the cusp of the availability of a vaccine for the novel coronavirus. As the world's largest manufacturer of vaccines, India is at the forefront of this effort. We have at least 5 promising vaccine candidates at advanced stages of trials. Dozens of sites across India are conducting vaccine trials on all ages and social groups. I would like to assure the people of Nepal that once a vaccine is rolled out, meeting Nepal's requirement would be a priority for us. Given our genetic profiles, what works for India is likely to work for Nepal as well. Together, we will recover from the pandemic, and together, we will protect our people. Ladies and gentlemen, the year 2020 has been a defining experience for all of us. In India, it has reinforced our determination to build a stronger national economy with robust industrial capacities and deft use of technology. Technology is a cross-cutting instrument, whether in factories or farms, in software or social transformation. We have learned this over the past few years in India as digital banking and biometric identities have made our financial system more inclusive and accessible to underprivileged sections. As renewable energy and water conservation and recharge have sought to redress ecological and environmental imbalances, and as IT and biotech have emerged as cutting-edge tools for economic opportunity and societal transformation. We are dreaming of a new India as envisioned by our Prime Minister, an India with modern amenities for all our people, an India that is a middle-income society. And we are dreaming with our eyes wide open. We are persisting with efforts to realize these dreams. We would like our friends in Nepal to share these dreams and be a part of our journey. We cannot do it alone, just as you cannot fulfill your dreams alone. In our region, our South Asia, we are symbiotically linked. We need each other. India's market is available to Nepal, to your companies, your startups, and your teeming talent pool. Nepal's hydropower potential can be a major source of clean energy for the subcontinent and an economic game changer for your country. Together, we can find solutions to climate change and environmental concerns that trouble us. Together, Nepal's youth and India's young people can explore the exciting age of technology and innovation. India's educational institutions, research and skilling centers, and startup ecosystem are primed to forge partnerships with Nepal. India's rise, India's economic growth, and India's modernization are inextricably linked to our region and our geography. The Indian Premier League is embellished by Nepalese cricketers, and the Indian Soccer League by Nepal's talented young footballers. The arena of sports is sending us a message, whether here or in Kathmandu or in New Delhi. यहाँलाई ध्यान दिएर सुनौं अनि निर्णायक रूपमा आगे बढौं। हामी नेपालका र भारतका भावी पुस्ताहरू प्रति जवाबदेही छौं। घनिष्ठ मित्र र छिमेकीको रूपमा हामीसँगै काम गर्न आवश्यक छ। हामीले हाम्रो युवाहरूको आकांक्षालाई पूरा गर्न आवश्यक छ। सशक्त सहकार्यमुखी भारत नेपाल सम्बन्ध दुई देशका जनताहरूको हितमा छ। तपाईं सबैलाई धेरै धेरै धन्यवाद। थ्यांक यू। नमस्कार।
धन्यवाद महामहिम परराष्ट्र सचिवज्यू, तपाईको विशेष सम्बोधनको लागि। र यो सम्बोधन एकदमै राम्रो थियो र यसका लागि म विशेष आभारी पनि छु। र मलाई लाग्छ अर्को वर्ष पनि हामीले यस्तै खालको र अर्को विषयमा तपाईबाट सम्बोधन गर्ने अवसर पाउनेछौँ भन्ने आशा गर्न चाहन्छु। र फेरि पनि म हजुरलाई नेपालमा स्वागत गर्न चाहन्छु र धन्यवाद पनि भन्न चाहन्छु। र आगामी दिनमा नेपाल र इन्डियाको सम्बन्ध अझै राम्रो हुनेछ भन्ने हामीलाई विश्वास छ। Once again, thank you so much for being with us, His Excellency, and to our distinguished participants from various sectors to attend the AIDIA your distinguished lectures. And I'm very much grateful for your participation. And recently, Excellency Foreign Secretary has said that diplomacy has gone digitally due to COVID-19 crisis. And due to such reason, the program is also on live on Facebook page and on the YouTube, so that Nepalese and Indian friends from India and Nepal are watching now. So that now we have moved already into the digital society. So diplomacy is already in the digital. Once again, thank you so much. And अर्को कुरा म परराष्ट्र सचिवलाई के भन्न चाहन्छु भने एउटा विशेष आग्रह नेपाली किसानहरूले जहिले पनि नेपालमा यो फर्टिलाइजरको एउटा हाहाकार हुने गरेको छ। अहिले पनि नेपालमा रासायनिक मलको एकदमै समस्या छ र किसानहरूले टाइममा पाएको छैन। मलाई लाग्छ 1 महिना अगाडि नेपाल सरकारले इन्डियाको सरकारलाई रासायनिक मलको लागि सपोर्ट गरिदिनको निम्ति रिक्वेस्ट गरेको छ। मलाई लाग्छ यो विषयमा इन्डियन सरकारले ध्यान दिनेछ र यो सहकार्य अझ गहिरो भयो भने नेपाली कृषकहरू अति नै आभारी हुने थिए भन्ने मलाई लाग्छ। धन्यवाद।
Once again, we'd like to express our sincere gratitude for His Excellency Foreign Minister of India for your paramount deliberations in front of the very informed audience. Now I would like to request CEO of AIDIA, Sunil Keshiji, to present the token of love to His Excellency Foreign Secretary of India. Okay, with this, I'd like to request all the distinguished participants to join the high tea